Officially, welcome to Team Time, Thursday night at 8:30. We typically have these every Thursday night at 8:30. So if you are not accustomed to being up here, we try to do them every week on different topics. So just kind of pay attention to the coach support page. I usually post them by Monday or Tuesday, what the topic's going to be related to. So this week we're going to talk about simplicity, if I can say it, and duplication. So I'm going to pull my slideshow up. We'll get started, and hopefully y'all can learn something, and I'll probably learn something myself. All right. So, like I said, we're going to talk about simplicity and duplication. Reason for that is because I know the more little tips and tricks and little things that you can do to have more time away from health coaching, the better, especially as you grow and you start to sponsor more clients and bring on your own coaches and that type of thing. It's not my desire. Hold on a second. Somebody mark my screen. It's not my desire that coaching takes over your whole life, unless that's what you want. And then by all means, dive in and go for it. But that being said, I still want you to have the easiest way. Oh my, the slideshow is acting crazy. So number one secret to helping lots of people is follow the system. They say don't reinvent the wheel. And I'll tweak that a little bit to say that it's okay to come up with your own way. So this is not like my way or the highway or anything like that. But there's a reason why we use the system, and it's because it's been followed for years. And yes, it's grown and it's matured. And, with technology and all that stuff, there's been little changes here and there. But overall, we kind of just follow the same system. And one of the best tips I can give you, and we'll elaborate more on this topic of hero coaching later, but don't get in the habit of hero coaching. I was extremely guilty of that when I first started coaching, and we'll talk more about that later, but just try to stay in structure when you coach and don't coach with emotion, and don't try not to be the hero. Because what you're doing is actually, you're not helping your clients grow. You're basically helping them stay in where they are. So follow new client timeline. We'll show that again. I think it's a great tool. I really love it. It's really simplified, and utilize all the tools provided. All the coaches that have great success with our company, they utilize the tools from the company to do that, because they do streamline everything. A big one, time saver here, is making time blocks in your calendar. And of course, if you aren't using a calendar yet for your business, it may be time. I started just using like my iCalendar on my phone, because that way I could have kind of my business calendar and our personal calendar and everything synced up for me. So I knew when I was trying to schedule a journey kickoff call or something, that I would be able to, schedule it around what's important to me, and not just important for my business, but important for my family. So I highly encourage that. I switched now and I use a Google Calendar for work, or for my health coaching business, just to kind of keep it separate from our iCalendar. It syncs for me, but Kelly and I share an iCalendar, so she doesn't always need to see all my work stuff, because she still works herself. So I really highly recommend that. And I always have on my calendar, on repeat, Monday night calls with Dr. Anderson, Wednesday night habits of health calls, and the Thursday night team times. Obviously, most of the time I lead the team times, so I know they're happening, but the Monday and Wednesday night stuff, I think it's still good to have a reminder of what's coming up. And a lot of times, especially as you grow, we have these boot camps available. And if you're fairly new, you might not know what a boot camp is, but basically some of the leadership in the company will get together and do like a series of trainings, usually, for a certain amount of weeks, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. We actually had a 12-week one last year, which was amazing, but lots of weeks. So my advice is manage your time wisely. If you only have a certain amount of bandwidth and you can only do one training a week because that's all you have the extra time for, just pick one. Like I would probably encourage you to be on team time, but if you get the most value out of the Monday night calls with Dr. Anderson, pick that one, or if the boot camps come up, and I would encourage you to do those because those are such a very specific time frame, and really it's great training that's compacted. So when that comes up, that's what I would recommend. I would just, if you can't do them all, and I understand if you can't, I didn't do them all when I was a brand new coach. Just pick what you can do, and have no guilt at all. You're released from it. If I've made you feel guilty, please forgive me. Please don't have any guilt if you can't be on something. These are all just things that are available if you can or if you want to. So just a little tip, you need a nice phone. So if you don't have a nice phone, it's probably a good idea to get an updated phone. And once again, this is just a suggestion. So please don't go buy an $800 phone and be like, well, Kevin told me. But I'm just telling you, like, from a business running standpoint, you can run your entire business from your phone if you have the type of phone that can utilize all these different things. I have an iPhone. I think it's phenomenal. You don't have to have an iPhone. Samsung, all these other companies make amazing phones that you can get apps for and stuff too. But I wanted to do two things. Like, make sure it's big enough that you can easily read what you need to. So if you're pulling up your Google Tracker on your phone, can you read it? And then it's got enough memory to store information, nice camera to take pictures. This is something like when we're coaches, like it's pretty important that you can on the fly take pictures. You want to be able to take pictures of when you get together with your clients, when you get together with other coaches, when you go to events, be able to snap a selfie or whatever. And you don't necessarily want to get out like a 1998 flip phone and try to take a picture with that, because the quality is not going to be great. Not because anybody's judging you, but because those types of things are going to help you as you move forward in your business, and just being able to run your whole business from your phone is a nice perk. So there's a lot of words on here. This is really speaking to the hero coaching part. So if you look on the left side, these are some things that people do when they're hero coaching. And once again, like this is judgment free. These are suggestions, but these are time killers, especially as you grow and you're helping more people. So instead of placing all the clients' orders, which is what a hero coach does, we place their first order and then they place the rest. Of course, there's the daily message that we send. In those daily messages, there's one about updating their order. We definitely 100% want to make sure they understand how to update their order themselves. So we're sending them that video, letting them know how important it is to go ahead and update their order. So what I do, and what I highly recommend, is when I get an email from the company, because you will get emails when your client's orders are going to process again. When I get that email that says Sally Smith's order is going to process in 7 days, and it's her second order, then I am going to reach out, send her the message that steps her through the process of placing her next order, and then confirm that she understands how to do it. If it's gone a few days and you'll get another email, hey, it's 4 days before your order is going to process, and I know that Sally Smith hasn't updated her order again, I'm going to check in with her again and make sure she understands how to do it, because you want to empower them to be able to do it themselves. You want to empower them to be able to place all their orders, and not just because you don't want to do it or whatever, but because there's over 60 choices for fuelings, and it's important that they can look in there and see all the different choices. That they can look in there and see, hey, I might want to pick up this Taste of Home meal so I can have some lean and greens on the go. Hey, what are these snacks? There's so many things that that they can't really explore if they're just sending you a list of feelings they like. So really consider that. not ordering the kit with the Habits of Health system. So instead of doing that, please order the Habits of Health system. They can absolutely not learn our Habits of Health properly if they don't have the tool that was written by Dr. Anderson to teach people the system. You know, you can even buy the book and not the feelings. Like, that's how important the book is. And learning those habits are essential for them to have success beyond weight loss. And in addition to that, a lot of the times too, like, people will see it and it's inevitable, whether you order the books or not, but people will see this as a diet. And if you are helping them see that the Habits of Health system is something that is an extension of our program, it's part of our program, the feelings are just a part. The Habits of Health system is another part. Then you have your health coach. Then you have your community of support. When you are surrounding them with all those pieces, the diet mentality goes away, and they understand that this is a lifestyle change because they see it in you. They see that you believe in it. And then they also are, if they're active in the community, they see all the people that have embraced this more than just a month or 2 months, and they're just trying to lose weight, but trying to reach their optimal health. So I think that's a really important one. 3, giving clients answers to their questions in text messenger. So the way I feel about this is, I think it's important when your clients in the first couple of weeks of program, when we're just trying to help them figure out what their fueling plan is. On their daily messages, they're going to get little, basically like layered in or dripped on for the 4 components. But the important thing is them knowing that past that, they have access to nutrition support themselves. They can call customer service themselves. Our role is to guide them to those things. So if they have a dilemma, or say I'm on vacation and my client doesn't know how to place their own order, they can call and place their order. They don't have to let it process without, me fixing it for them. Or maybe not even their next order, but they want to order something extra and they just don't know how. Or they're having some kind of issue and they think I'm the only person they can write to get help with their issue. If they are empowered to contact nutrition support and try to address something that they have going on, then you have assisted them to have that ability to be able to do these things themselves. And ultimately, that's what we want. I don't want to like be offensive or anything, but like, these are like our little babies. And, when we start giving them the resource instead of being the resource, it's almost like, bumping them out of the nest a little bit. But what happens when you bump them out of the nest? They learn how to fly. And if you don't ever bump them out of the nest, they're never going to learn how to fly. And it's really essential that they learn how to fly all by themselves, because this is a lifelong journey for all of us. And being able to fully become a bird and fly, you have to know, you have to have the tools to fly. So that's a really important one. 4, not welcoming them to the client support page. And once again, this is obviously use your judgment. I have had clients that were absolutely against being welcomed. But for 99% of your clients, making a welcome post for the client and introducing them to the group is very important, because you're putting them in the community first thing. Not because you're trying to like put them on a spotlight, because that's why a lot of people don't want you to do it. They don't want a spotlight. But it's really important to try and introduce them somehow into that community. And that's usually the first thing, the first introduction to the community, the first part where they get to see that it's not just you that's here cheering for them, that there's 1,000 people cheering for them, which is pretty awesome. And I'll say, if we have someone that's private, that's hesitant, I'll explain it. I'll say, it's a private group, so no one else on Facebook is going to see it unless they're in the group. And just kind of relieve some of those those objections. I know if you saw, I posted today, this is a great opportunity to go to the Coach Sport page and see the post. but not right now while I'm talking, but later you can see it. But it's feel, felt, found. And so when someone has a concern, you understand their feelings. You tell them how you felt. You're like, yeah, I felt really nervous about posting in the group when I was a brand new client. But what I found is after I posted, I got encouragement and motivation from so many people. So that's how you kind of bridge the gap between where the client is and what they believe is true, and then what you know is true. All right, 5. This kind of echoes back to 3, but reaching out to nutrition support for your client. I think it's perfectly okay to do this for a short amount of time because they're a brand new client. You don't want to be on day 2 and being like, oh yeah, you can just email nutrition support. That's just my personal opinion. I like to get them started well, at least a week or 2 weeks under their belt before I start letting them, in on the clue, hey, nutrition support is who I've actually been sending this to, and you can email them yourself. Here's the email. 6, only talking about the feelings. Once again, we have 4 components. The feelings are actually the only component that goes away potentially. When you're in maintenance, you don't have to have feelings. They're not required. The program is you eat 6 times a day, you drink your water, and you're balancing your proteins, carbs, and fats and getting what your body needs. So the feelings just make it easy for us as clients and for us as coaches to know that we can guarantee our results and that we have a proven system. And as long as you eat those, then you're going to follow it. The education, the community, and the health coach are the 3 components that are really game changers for what we do. And so plugging your clients into those is so important. Back to this, leaving the book in the corner yourself. So I know we shy away sometimes from the clients getting the books. And I do understand that. I know how important the books are, so I'm very persistent with making sure clients get books. And to add to that, read the book. Like if you are coaching and you haven't had time to dive into the book, like there's no judgment, but the book is so eye-opening, and the book has so much knowledge in there. And you reading the book will pick up different information that's significant to you than me reading the book. And that is truly not only it's crippling your clients if you don't read the book and you don't understand how to help them use that resource, but it's crippling you on your health journey too. So I really encourage you to read it. It's great. We actually started the book club a couple of weeks ago, and that's going well. It's in the client support page. So hopefully you've tuned in on that and enjoyed it. 8, think your client's too busy. We all are busy. I get that. But I will say your client needs the support regardless. And so reaching out to your client's not bothering your client. They reached out to you and they decided to start this journey, and they need your support. And if they're too busy and they don't respond, that's okay. But they're not too busy for you to reach out. So, the funny thing is, and most of you can probably vouch for this or whatever, but busy people are used to being busy. They know how to get things done while being busy. So don't let business be a crutch. Like busyness, we're all busy. We'll just leave it at that. We'll just stop there. We're all busy. So please just make sure that your clients are getting the support they need regardless of how busy they are. And 9, protect your client. So this protecting thing, it's got multiple layers to it, but I will say just from experience and talking to other leaders in the company and stuff like this, when you have a protection mentality from your client, like, you're doing things for them or not doing things to protect them or whatever, you're being very, almost like building a cocoon around your client or whatever. What you're doing that you don't see is that you're not allowing them to blossom and bloom themselves. You're not completely building that bridge to them being able to take over their journey and be their own person and be able to do things themselves. So just be careful, be very careful of those things. Let's get one. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So that's the end of that. That was really heavy, lots of text, so I apologize. But those are lots of great points that I wanted to get across. Now, extra, and I'll post this. I'll post the slides, so you'll have the links in those when they're posted. But this is what I was talking about with the calendar. Utilizing the calendar, preferably digital, so that way it's on the go with you. You can have it with you all the time. I think that's really important. Adding links to your home screen. If you don't know about adding links to your home screen, please watch this video. It's very simple to add links to your home screen. I was actually talking to an experienced coach outside of my line of business a couple of weeks ago, and they didn't know about how to do this for things. And I was like, really? So then I'm like, well, maybe I need to teach my coaches how to do this. So everything from, you can have the like 5-in-1 Optavia guide on your phone where you can just one click and pull it up, to the veggie conversions, to let me show you, pull up and see all the things I can tell you. I have the Habits of Health calls linked, so I can just hit my Habits of Health link and it pulls up the whole list of Habits of Health calls. I got all the program guides, the income tool. So if I wanted somebody on the fly wants to talk about coaching, I have the income tool in there to kind of work through that with them and talk to them about how money's made as a coach. I got the dining out guide. I got a link to wellness credits. So that was a game changer for me. Like, I can just click on it and it goes straight to wellness credit, where I can punch in the amount of the wellness credit and the client ID number, and then boom, like enter it. So I don't have to go log through everything. So adding things to your home screen is a huge time saver. So you don't have to go searching for things. And if you have like specific things you want to add and you can't figure it out after you watch the video, please reach out and we'll talk about it. Number 3, the Google Sheets app. This is how you can pull up your Google Tracker on your phone. So like for me, like when I have my clients in there and I'm trying to track them, make sure they're getting their daily messages, I can pull up my client tracker in my Google Sheets app and see where everybody's at for their days. So if I have 5 clients I'm running at the same time, and one's on day 2, one's on day 4, one's on day 7, one's on day 8, I know exactly where they're at. And then I can click on the daily message tab and get all their messages to them, and then check off when they got them, so I can keep up with it and be very organized with that. So I'm making sure everybody's receiving the same coaching, and so that's what I say, like, you're duplicating it over and over again. The Google Sheets app, here's a link for it if you have iTunes. I did look, and there is one for like the what's it called, Android or whatever. You can still get the Google Tracker, the Google Sheets on your Android devices too. So look into that and try to get that saved on your phone, so you'll save a lot of time. All those links I was telling you about, I made an Optavia folder on my phone. So then I have an Optavia folder on my phone, where everything in that little box is an Optavia link. So then they're all also right there together. If you don't know how to make folders on your phone, you can look up, like on YouTube, a video about that too. But it's very simple. Once you start dragging things together, it automatically prompts you to make a folder. So you could grab your program guides and your wellness credit link or whatever, and once you drag those things to merge, it pops up with a folder. You just entitle it Optavia, and boom, 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 start putting all your Optavia stuff in there. This is one somebody else missed a suggestion for, and it's good. I did it, but I didn't think about telling y'all. But make albums in your pictures app to organize transformation pictures. So I have like an Optavia folder, like an Optavia transformation folder album, not folder, album. I have a transformation album in my pictures. And so when I have a transformation picture that I save to my phone, I go in there and move it to that album. So then when I'm trying to find stuff to post, I don't have to scroll through the last 50 pictures I took to find the one like transformation picture I saved. I know it's in that album. Same thing with like if you see a motivational quote or something and you want to save it, like make a motivation album and then start saving things in there so you can post them later. And that way, you know where to find them when you want to post it. So it just kind of streamlines all that, and recipes, etc. You know, however you want to do it, however many albums you want to make, but that way you're not scrolling through thousands of pictures trying to find, you know, where's that picture I saved 2 months ago? It makes it very simple and organized for you. So taking it next level, once you are growing in this business and you are managing lots of clients, starting to bring on coaches, and life gets a little bit busier, then your money's number one priority as you grow is to buy time. And what we mean by that is, if there are things in your life that don't need your hands to do them, and you can utilize some of the money you're making as a health coach to get them done, do that. Because you can see a maid or a house cleaning service. A maid or house cleaning service, we love them. They're awesome. They, you know, come in and do amazing jobs. They don't get paid what we get paid as Optavia coaches. So it makes sense to spend your time helping people and growing your business instead of paying someone to clean your house when you're at that level. So these are all just examples, but dry cleaning, childcare or babysitting, and even with childcare, like, this is something we've done before. You can make a deal, you know, with somebody, like set up, like, I'll pay for your program for a month if you babysit XYZ days or these amount of hours or whatever. And then you're making a trade with them. So not only are they watching your children, and you pick up a client, but they get the opportunity to change their life. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. Yard work, housework, work that doesn't need you to do it. You might want to do it. That's perfectly fine. But if it doesn't need your hands doing it, then you can pay for these things to be done instead of spending your time doing it and then being exhausted when it comes time to do your client support or your coach support. So hopefully that helps with the time saving thing. Now let's talk about our system. So when you follow a simple system, it's easy to duplicate it. So that's why we do these things. Starting with your health assessment, you're doing a health assessment on your clients, moving to your Google Tracker, putting your clients in there, utilizing that for your daily messages, you know, being able to run your business from that, doing your week 1 client tip call, you know, between days 8, 9, and 10, if you can. That's the optimal thing to do. Doing these things over and over again and then teaching them to your coaches and that type of thing is easy. You know, if you can pass this forward, you know, obviously we always try to help do the first 3 or 5 times, you know, the first 3 to 5 health assessments with our new coaches so they feel comfortable doing the health assessments. Excuse me. And then introducing them to the Google Tracker so they can utilize that tool to track everything. And I don't know how well you can see it on your screen, but there's a candidate list, the auto responses, the client tracker, the daily messages, coach tracker. So all those little tabs you just click on, it gives you different information if you haven't used the Google Tracker yet. It's a great, great tool. Then the week 1 client tip call, you know, there's a series of questions. There's not much more than this, but there's a series of questions you go through that can either identify an issue that someone has and help them get back into fat burn if they have, you know, fallen off or, you know, whatever, life happened. But also B, they might have lost a significant amount of weight. They might be happy, but they're putting creamer in their coffee every morning and they didn't think that mattered, but it does matter. So these are the types of questions you can ask them, very simple questions to try and identify issues. And once you have these things down pat, then when you bring on a new coach, you can teach them these 3 things. And it's like, boom, 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 they got it, you know? It makes it very simple. It makes it easy for you to teach it, so then it duplicates. And if your success can be duplicated in your business, that's how you grow a big business. You have to have very simple tools that are easy to duplicate. So it doesn't matter what personality you have, what background you have, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, you can follow the system. And that's the strength of a system. And I'll tell you, I am a structure resistor. Structure is not naturally my friend. I resist structure hardcore. But I have found over the last 2.5 years of coaching that structure is my friend, because I understand, and I want to convey this to you because I want you to understand it too. Structure is not a rule to live by. Structure for someone like me, when I can keep a lot of things in my head and I can do things that way, structure helps me be more efficient and more intentional. So whereas before, where I might have had a client here and there that missed the daily message, that doesn't happen for me anymore, because I'm very intentional about putting my clients in here and then checking off like when they get their messages. So I'm able to follow that structure. Now, if you're someone like Kelly, she loves structure. So these pieces are essential for her to just be able to run an efficient business. I think if she felt like she had to keep up with everything in her head, or if she had to know the questions, like these questions right here, if she had to memorize questions to ask, then she wouldn't be a coach. She would never be a coach because she doesn't want to, But if you provide that type of personality with structure, they flourish in structure. If you provide me with structure, I go, I think I can do it without structure. And then I realize over time how much structure helps me. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. So I wanted to show you these things again. And just remind you about this. This is such an important concept to learn because it will save you time and it will help you be an amazing coach, even more amazing than you already are. You are a coach. You are not up to be a client support. You're not nutrition support. You're not behavioral support, etc. Let them do their job and you do yours. And the reason I say this is not to point fingers at anybody, but because I did this. And I don't want you to repeat my mistakes. So be a coach. What is a coach? A coach is a guide. A coach is a friend. A coach is someone that's there for that person. But if they have issues that are medical in nature, hopefully they're checking with their doctor. But that's also where client support and nutrition support step in. They are paid professionals, nutrition support, registered dietitians, that type of thing. They know how to help with these situations instead of us assuming we know because we've maybe had a client with a similar situation. Let's not do that. Let's say, hey, I don't know. It's okay to not know as a coach. Hopefully y'all have embraced that. If not, please start embracing it. It's okay to not know. What matters more to your client is that you care. So if you don't know something, make sure they understand that you care enough to find the answer. So, and all these things, please, like if someone needs nutrition support, send them to them. If they need behavioral support, send them to them. And then last, this 30-day timeline, I just want to show it again because I want to really nail it home, how simple this makes everything, and how if you just follow the structure with your new clients, they're going to have the same coaching. So they're going to have consistent coaching every time. And this is going to help you grow your business because your coaches are getting the consistent structure. They're getting the same support, and they understand that we follow a systematic approach to coaching. So that encourages them to believe that they can coach too. If they think we do a lot of this on the fly, they don't think they can do it. They are scared of coaching. They don't think they have the time for it. They don't think they have the bandwidth for it. But if they know that we follow a structure and that we have all these tools as coaches, just like we have tools as clients, then it opens the door for people to want to join you in coaching. So thanks for hanging in there. Of course, I went over a few minutes. So let me see if I missed any questions in here. Hey, how's the book? Totally do that link thing. This is good. Good screenshots. Awesome. Yeah, so I don't see any questions in there. I'm going to stop recording, and then I'll hang around for a couple minutes if anyone has questions. So let me pause that recording.